You hear? Yes. So everybody speaking.
I said, I'm going to speak.
I put it in that.
And we think we've overcome that, and now we shall move forward.
We're using my phone for audio, so when you are a speaker, you'll just have to walk forward, grab my phone, so that the participants online can hear you well.
Thank you. It worked. That works all right, Laura? Okay, Attorney, I just want to make sure you're right. Okay. We do know that we stopped at the approval of the agenda, and I know some agenda items that we need to include. I'll ask the attorney to include his first.
Thank you, Chairman Connor. In conjunction with the settlement with NC Carr that was announced at the last board meeting, I have a proposed resolution approving the conveyance of real property to a nonprofit corporation. This resolution was required under the statutes to basically close these sales. So that's that be added to the agenda.
Okay. Is there another item? Any other items we want to add to the agenda? If not, is there items we want to exclude from the agenda? If not, could I have?
I'm sorry to interject again. The minutes are still not complete, Chairman Connor, and so I would ask that the consent agenda be deleted.
Okay. We delete. Okay. No problem. Board members, are there any other deletions? Any other inclusions? If not, could I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Chairman China, I make a motion that we remove the consent agenda tab number 5 and replace tab number 5 with the board's resolution approving conveyance of real property to nonprofit corporation.
Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Boone, that we would adjust our agenda accordingly, changing number 5 to include a resolution. There any questions or any discussion? All in favor, let nobody use your side. Aye.
Aye, Faulkner. Aye, Boone.
Aye, Turner. Ayes have the motion is carried. Conflict of interest statement. In accordance with the rules and procedures adopted by the board in section 153A, 44 of the North Carolina General Statute, it is the duty of every member present to vote on all matters coming before the board unless there is a conflict of interest as determined by the board or by law. Does any board member have a conflict of interest with respect to any agenda item coming before the board today? If so, please identify the conflict and the board will consider the matter. Any conflict, Ms. Buffalo?
No conflict.
Okay.
No conflict, Faulkner. No conflict, Boone.
All right, no conflict. At this time, we shall move forward. As given to us is the resolution that we need to hear from our attorney only this time.
Thank you, Chairman Connor, and I'll be brief since the settlement was announced at the last meeting. But section 160A 279 of the North Carolina General Statutes requires a resolution of this board to convey real property to a nonprofit corporation, which is NC Carr. And so just to remind the board and those present, the property is a little over 600 acres that is being conveyed to NC Carr. The purchase price is $1.8 million. And under the settlement agreement, NC Carr has agreed to continue to put the property to a public use. And more precisely, and that is being the promotion and enhancement of the efficient use of fossil fuels, the encouragement of alternate fuel use in motor transportation, and consulting and educational services related to such endeavors. And this resolution will authorize the conveyance to NC Carr with those stipulations in place. And it also requires our interim clerk to publish notice as required under the statute. Happy to answer any questions.
This probably been sold for $1.8 million at DTBC. So sisters will know what we said in the last meeting, exactly what we planning to consummate at the selling. $1.8 million over 7 year period. Are there any other questions, anything else we need to explain to the public as they are listening to us? If not, I'd entertain a motion at this time that we would adopt a resolution as necessary by law, because we are certainly selling it to a 501(c) organization. Did I say that right at time?
They're a nonprofit organization under Montreal law.
Okay. That's good. Thank you. Could I have a motion?
Yes, so moved, Chairman Turner.
Moved by Commissioner Boone. Could I have a second?
Second, Faulkner.
Second, Faulkner, that we would accept the resolutions given to us by our attorney. Are there any questions in the discussion? If not, all in favor, let me know by your side.
Aye. Faulkner. Aye, Boone.
Aye, Turner. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Thank you so much. At this time, we're going to ask Dr. Ela from the Halifax Community College to please come forward with a strategic plan.
Good evening, Senator Tyler and Commissioners. We are glad to visit this. Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you for inviting us here tonight for this important opportunity to share some very important information with you and ask for your input. Before I get into that, though, and as my assistant, Ms. Mack, is passing out the information you'll need this evening, I want to thank the commissioners for your generous support and participation in our first annual gala for veterans on Saturday evening. Because you all were there and supported us, it really helped that event be a success. Ms. Mack is here, so publicly I want to say thanks to her for the wonderful job she did coordinating that event, and along with our veterans who served on the Veteran Advisory Committee to help bring all of that about. They were extremely pleased. And we were able to raise at least $15,000 for that event. So it was tremendously successful, and we thank you all for your support of that event. Now back to why I am here this evening. As you know, the guidelines, the direction that the college goes is set by our Board of Trustees and by our strategic plan. Our current strategic plan is about to expire in 2022. So we are currently about the work of collecting information, doing an environmental scan, getting as diverse input as we can possibly get to help create the next generation of strategic plan, and we need your input. That's why I'm here tonight. You'll see before you that this is a brief questionnaire asking for your opinion, asking for your input. You don't have to be an expert in any one, and you don't have to complete all of the questions, but any of those questions that you feel you want to offer direction or input to the college, we really would love to have your input. All of those of you who feel comfortable completing it right now, we would love to be able to collect that, before we leave. If not, I know at least for the commissioners, Ms. Mack will send you a link, and you can take your time and do a bigger job as you want to do with it. But we're going to be getting, I think this is a word, UGOBs, of information. And we'll be collecting it from all across Halifax and Northampton counties. So we would like to get your input too. So I say that to say, don't feel like you've got to complete every line, but whichever ones you feel most comfortable with and you want to offer that input, please do so. We'd love to have any and all input. Just briefly, for those who may be listening online, I would just like to go through briefly those 10 questions, but we're asking for direction about your educational concerns for the community. We're asking about the needs of the region and the community in terms of graduation and work skills, etc. We're also asking what you think the needs are that are related to your workforce in this community, and how can HCC continue to help foster and meet those needs of the community. What are your expectations of the role of HCC in the community? And also we want to know what ways a community college can collaborate with local leaders and with businesses. Again, these are your ideas. In what ways would you recommend partnerships be developed with leaders and businesses in an effort to increase workforce footprint in this region? What can we do economically and to help develop Northampton County into the area that you would like it to be? What ways can HCC partner and collaborate with the local school districts? And what can the business community contribute to make HCC a viable educational destination? And then finally, 10th question is, what can the community leaders contribute to help make HCC a viable educational destination? If you look at our name, Halifax Community College, that's our first name, our middle name, and our last name. Our middle name is community, and we cannot address your needs without your input. So when a student comes off the educational conveyor belt at HCC, we want them to be ahead of where they need to be, not catching up to business and industry. So we're thinking futuristically, so we want you to think futuristically, and then give us some demographic information that just simply helps make sure that we have reached out to all the communities in our area and have gotten broad, inclusive support. So we will also make sure that we have a link for those of you who may not be in the room who want to give some input. We will have a link where you can go to that link and you can do the survey online and submit online and all that. So we tried to make it available in various ways for you to be able to give us the input. So, Commissioner Tyner, I want to thank you for the invitation to come and look forward to getting the input from our county commissioners directly. And I also want to thank you. We did get some input from Northampton County when our Board of Trustees did their annual retreat. And that retreat was focused on the strategic plan as well. So thank you all very much for all you do for the community and for your help with us developing the next generation of our strategic plan. Any questions?
Well, if you have a question, we're going to ask you to go over that if you would. Please fill this out against our president, Ball, if you would. Chairman Ball, we're asking you to stay on duty tonight. If you would just call there and tell them to please get this to. Also, going to ask our clerk to the board if you will also put this on our webpage so that you will have an opportunity from the date when it is to the closing date, and then we'll check it out. So that's what I appreciate. Okay. All right. Representative, we want some representation, and, she represented us, I think it was real. So, again, thank you, and we will respond, all of us respond, we'll put it on our real page, we'll have our citizens to respond.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for what you're doing. Okay? At this time, we should move down and take the microwave, quickly, 3,005. Communication Director.
Good evening, Commissioner Chairman Tyner, Sheriff, Vice Woman, Ms. Faulkner, Commissioner Bowles, Commissioner Buffalo, County Attorney, Finance Director, and Clerk of the Board. It's just a time to say that I am Lakeisha Ransom. I am the newly appointed Director of 911 Center. So I come before you today to discuss the conditions of the towers that are located in our county. The current microwave links that we currently use at the radio towers need to be fixed, and have been for quite some time. The radio equipment that we're using at the towers at the time has been discontinued, which means that the equipment has become obsolete with new technology that's available. And what that means is if communication drops between us and our emergency responders, that becomes a dire situation because those parts are no longer manufactured. I gave the clerk of the board a copy of our quotes. I'm not sure if you all have them. Okay. So what you have before is the details of the towers that need to be fixed, which is 3 of them. It's the Jackson to the Old Mill link, which also the Old Mill link to the Rich Square link, the Jackson to the Enviva link, and the Enviva to the Bradley Tower. RCC is the first quote that you have, which they maintain our towers at this time, and they have quite some time. They have provided us a quote, which the one you have in front of you from them, the total cost subscribed is $133,775. The second quote you have is from KRW United Corporation, which theirs was a little higher, which was $156,000. And now $195. And the third quote you have is for mobile communications. And why that is so lower than the other two is because that was only a quote to fix one tower. And that was the Lincoln Rich Square, which we need all 3 of them fixed. It is vital and necessary that the current situation of these towers get rectified due to most critical issues on the east end of the county, which is Woodland and Rich Square. They can hardly hear us, and we can hardly hear them, and it is frustrating when we have to ask them to repeat, and it's frustrating for them to ask us to repeat. But we want to make sure they're safe, and we want to make sure we know what they're doing. So that's why we always ask them what they're doing, and we need to make sure we know what they're doing. My job as a telecommunicator, which I have been for the last 18 and a half years, now I'm director, is to make sure our responders can be heard and checked on and to get them what they need. Also, our emergency responders may have only one opportunity to click that mic. So if an officer's on a traffic stop and you only have one opportunity to click that mic to say 1018, that's all they have. So we need to make sure we hear them if they're in that situation. In conclusion, I am asking all of you all, the commissioners of Hennepin County, for help to help us get those radios and towers fixed. It not only benefits our first responders, but it also benefits the citizens of North Hennepin County. I want to thank you all for your time and time to hear me out. So if you have any questions at the time that I may answer, I can do that at this time.
Well, no, we heard come to us tonight. She acknowledged all of us tonight. She talked to her, brought to us paperwork. When she has done her work, got proposals. When we look at this, I just wonder about that last proposal, which was equal to, you said that's just one house. How many towers is it in all?
It is 5. You have the Bradley, the Bradley Tower, which is located in Henrico, the Enviva Tower, the Jackson Tower, the Rich Square Tower, and the tower on Wood Boom. but the only ones that need to be fixed at the time are 3.
I have a question. Yes. So the replacement, although one quote, is the same equipment that will be placed at all 5 towers?
No, just 3 towers.
So we only need the first 3.
We only need the,
We need, but is there, for the 5, is there a need for the?
the other 2 they're fairly new, so that's why I don't need to be replaced at this time. The Lincoln Ridgeway is completely down.
So there is 3, so there is 3, would that be the same with that last quote? Would that be 3 times the last quote?
Yes.
If you look at that, so that's 37,053.
Well, the reason why mobile communications was my hardest one. They wanted to take me through this book, through that loop, through this loop, and that loop. So the reason why they only have 1 quote is because they want to do a tower study on this tower, a tower study on that tower, and a tower study on another tower, which is going to be completely more expensive to do the tower study and then to order the equipment for the tower to be fixed.
Okay, so for the first one, is the cheapest one.
Yes, ma'am.
That will be replaced, and although you listed the connections, it will be replaced.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And any questions? Boo?
No. Okay.
What we're gonna do is, we get that to our security squad, police, everybody, community.
And I did go to the Woodland Town Hall meeting last week to assure those citizens and our chief that I am trying to get this problem fixed. Because they were concerned about their chief being out there. And I also have a first responder out there myself. My husband's a deputy at the sheriff's office. So, I mean, it does hit close to home. If you all was to approve it, they can get the parts ordered in January, but and it's still an 8 to 12 week turnaround to get them all fixed.
Is this their budget or is this required?
It's not a requirement. They have some fund balance in the 911, fund, but it's not enough to do that.
And what we will approve this, then, that's our finance was comes after, get us this. We'll take it from. Okay. All right, we prepared for our 911 station. More questions? No, I'll look at the information given us, what is your recommendation?
Chairman Carter, I make a recommendation that you approve the replacement of the current microwave equipment that's connected to the public safety radios, approving the quote presented by Radio Communications Company for a total of $133,775 with the proposed budget amendment being brought to us in December.
I have a second.
Second, my point.
So, this is what we approve the, replacement of radio equipment on the towers, 3 towers, listed. Any questions, any discussion?
One second, would it be appropriate or not have to be that as far as identifying, fund balance as a funding source to
as soon as you all let me know, that it's everything, I can get in contact with them, in no time.
Hey, what I hear you saying, us not to know that the ministry will stop us from ordering, just we'll check it and we'll check it from, right now, we don't know where we'll check it from, we will check it from far now, but we might have somebody else we can check it from.
Okay, I think what you're saying is, there's a way we can come back and go forward, go on down, but we can shift it with the and then, okay. As long as we're appropriate.
Yeah.
Attorney, we'll sit right there, this way we can get them.
That's fine. The only thing that I haven't brought up, I mean, we're accepting proposals, Mark, so there's not a contract.
Yeah, of course.
That's what we approved by you. All right, any other questions, any other discussion, all in favor, I'm about to sign aye.
I call them. I know.
I say, motion is carried. Thank you, I'm going to take you to this board. We are stressed that our chief for 911, she's come on to take it on the hand that organization has done an outstanding job. You know, continuing to what she's doing.
Thank you, Mr. Tom. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
This time, it should move along, right along, and we get memorandum of agreement between UCP, COG, and Service Provider Agent, Director Lee.
Good evening, Chairman Tyner, Vice Chair Faulkner, Commissioner Buffalo, Commissioner Boone, and to each and every one of you. I stand before you seeking your approval for the MOU. I have had it reviewed by our county attorney, and he has given it his stamp of approval. The agreement will be between Upper Coastal Plain and Nash County Farmers Market and Northampton County Office of Aging. We're agreeing to have the produce boxes come to our location. We will assist with registration, pickup, or delivery for those produce boxes. And this is all at no cost to the county.
Any questions you want to ask? This time, any questions you have? Moving ahead with Upper Coastal Plain, we get every dollar, every hour, every home, every cabin, everything is in cabin. Bring it to Northampton County. And I think this is just a beginning of what Scott will be doing for us, working with Upper Coastal Plain, getting those kinds of things we need for our county. At this time, could I please have your pleasure on this resolution that's been given to us?
I make a motion that we accept the memorandum of understanding between the Upper Coastal Plain Council government and represented by UCO, COG, and Service Provider Agencies, Northampton County, to provide, to assist and provide the registration and pickup and or delivery of community supported agricultural boxes for eligible participants in Northampton County.
And I did not come to repeat. But I have a second. So you will approve the resolution given to us. Any questions, discussion? All the period, nobody needs to time.
I thought that. Yes, I will.
Let me say, thank you for taking on board to allow you to take on this huge responsibility, starting up for this Northampton County. Our field agency department, and we are really proud of what she's already done. She's responsible for the distribution of food each month for our seniors. She will be doing that. She will be doing that for us and making sure our seniors are taken care of. What we really do for our senior program is a program that's going to serve more than 20 plus. We serve hundreds of seniors in our county. Once we get this moving, you all know what the goal is. The goal is to serve seniors in every community. And we do appreciate her taking on this responsibility. And I'm telling you, we were the only county that did not have a center. Now we have our center. And we are excited about who's operating this center. Thank you. And we appreciate you. And anything we can do to help you, you know we're here.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your assistance with this matter. It's been a pleasure serving.
Thank you. All right, now we have the President Williams come and give us the memorandum of agreement.
To our commissioners, our co-workers, our attorney, good evening. Come before you last meeting, a representative from Upper Coastal Plains came to us concerning the opioid epidemic. We know this epidemic has killed at least 16,000 North Carolinians, and there was a settlement that was taking place. North Carolina could receive $850 million over a period of 18 years to support state and local efforts to address the opioid epidemic. The memorandum of agreement that you're signing, other counties have already signed. What it does, it ensures that all the funds are dedicated to addressing the opioid epidemic, enabling North Carolina to maximize resources abating the crisis and ensure high levels of transparency and accountability. Local governments may use the opioid settlement in two ways. Under option A, funds may be used to support programs or services that serve persons with opioid use disorder or any co-occurring substance use disorders or mental health conditions. Under option B, funds may be used to support strategies that will treat opioid use disorder, provide connections to care and support first responders. So those are just a few things that this money will do. But in order for us to be considered, we have to have an agreement and be in agreement. Other counties have done it by us entering into this agreement. It ensures that Northampton County will get its portion of these funds. I'd like to thank Ms. Tia Robinson for her help on this. She really was instrumental in helping to craft this and get a great understanding of the importance of Northampton County being at the table. If you're not at the table, then you're on the menu. So I want to be at the table. So I believe it'll help our county. Substance abuse, substance use disorders plague poverty-stricken counties. And so I think it's to our benefit to be a part of this and to make sure that we receive money to help in any way necessary.
Well, if you have any questions, you want to ask Mr. Williams is doing this grant for us, and then after we will receive it, we will determine what part of the county will execute this. Might be in our mental health department, it might be the health department. We'll work on that. We just have to get our grant application in as soon as we could receive the money. And it's probably your county manager for why we didn't have this in earlier. But I didn't think that we were going to qualify because of the numbers, but it seems as though numbers didn't make any difference. We were going to get some in. So at any rate, Mr. Williams, thank you for checking this and putting all of that along with Tia, putting all of this and getting this back in the law. Then we will make some decisions once we receive the funds for the party who will honor this one. Any questions? Any questions? Should I have a motion made and be the last on the county? I hate to be last, but you can ask me that on the, could I please have a motion from that we would we will apply for the funding, and the resolution is to
Chairman Kyle, I make a motion that we enter into this memorandum of agreement between the state of North Carolina and local government on the proceeds related to the settlement of opioid litigation, as presented by Mr. Williams.
Second.
With the proper second, there's a question, in the discussion. Are there any questions in the discussion? If not, all in favor, let them know you decide.
I, Buffalo. I, Faulkner. I,
Tyra, thank you. We appreciate all that you're doing too.
Yes, sir.
I just received a few months ago an email from Rob, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And our state director, that's why I stepped out of the meeting. I apologize, but he did call. He will be state director for USDA Rural Development. He will be here tomorrow, meeting with all of the mayors concerning their needs in different communities. We've got 5 out of 8, so we're going to do 5 tomorrow, and then he said he's going to come back, and he's going to be with us from 1:30 until, and hopefully some commissioners will come in and see him. He's very excited about bringing money to Northampton County because we qualify for it. We just didn't know it was there, but now we know, and so hopefully it will be more funds available for our poverty-stricken counties, rural counties, concerning water, sewer, things of that nature. And thank you very much. Have enjoyed myself. My coworkers make me look good. It's a team. I really got to commend our commissioners. You have really come in and hired some people who are team players. Everybody's helping everybody. Ms. Garner is just she's a jewel. Couldn't make it without her. IT is great. So it's all a team effort. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. At this time, we shall move on with Oklahoma.
Yes, sir. Good evening. My name is Ajula Oso. Thank you, Chairman Tyner, Vice Chair Faulkner, Commissioners Boone and Buffalo. I own a business called Inner Wealth Solutions, which is a developer of solar and storage projects. And we are a developer of 2 sites off of Galatia and Bryantown Road. And today I have with me my colleague, Kagan Del Rio, who's with the North Carolina Electric Membership Corporation. We are here today requesting that the commissioners, that you all consider amending the existing moratorium by accepting facilities that are less than 1 megawatt or less than 5 acres in size. I think that that will allow you all to continue to study the issues of concern for the county as it relates to agricultural production, aesthetics, or other issues that you may have related to solar installations, while at the same time allowing much smaller developments to proceed. And in support of our request, I wanted to just briefly give you a description of these projects and why they may be of particular interest to you all. So these are the first solar and ancillary battery storage projects interconnected to the Roanoke Electric Cooperative. This site is also the first of its kind to be built by the North Carolina Electric Membership Corporation, which is the generation and transmission provider for the 26 rural electric cooperatives across the state. Of note, these systems will be owned by NCEMC and operated by NCEMC, and the beneficiaries of that electricity will be local communities. It will be the folks who are interconnected or served by Roanoke Electric Cooperative. It is completely a local project. It's developed by a local company. It is owned by your local cooperative. It is being operated by the statewide. And so there's a lot of accountability because We're not talking about a third party based in California or in some other place. This particular site, these two sites have actually been in development since 2019, and so our request is that the moratorium accept sites of this size because of the continuing cost overruns that we may experience going into 2022. So we'd like to be able to stay within the 2021 year for construction in order to be able to control costs and also to take advantage of the tax credit for this year. Beyond that, I think, and in many ways, more importantly, these sites deliver cheaper, reliable, renewable electricity for the members of Roanoke Electric Cooperative. They are also designed to deliver direct benefits to households and community-level impacts in the form of economic development and resources to invest in energy efficiency upgrades for households, which you all may know is the Upgrade to Save program within Roanoke, where they are helping households to actually become more energy efficient, and this becomes a source of funding to help them to continue those investments. Finally, these sites, as I mentioned earlier, are much smaller distribution scale sites. The footprint of the actual solar and battery storage is less than 2.5 acres, which is meant in some ways to provide data to the cooperative and to the wider statewide network about the relative cost and benefits of much smaller installations. And we know that we'll have to be thinking about smaller installations because of the concerns of farmers and ranchers and folks with wide open spaces across our state. So these smaller sites allow us to test the costs and benefits of that kind of array. The other thing that I think is important is that because they're small, it allows the landowners to also continue with agricultural production alongside the production of electricity. So these particular sites are 30 and 60 acres in total. The footprint of the solar array, as I mentioned earlier, is only 2.5 of those acres. And so a lot of continued activity can happen around that array for that landowner and that community and the neighbors to it. These two sites are also different in that they are owned by African American women. They are, as far as I know, the only African American owned sites in our state, despite the fact that we have many, many, many solar arrays across the state. And so this is of particular interest potentially to you all for that reason. So these sites not only have important benefits locally, they also have important demonstration impacts for peers across the country. And so I welcome your questions and ask that you all consider amending the moratorium as it relates to sites of this size or less.
You heard the presentation, questions about the presentation. Let me say more. We do have that we in January will be adopting and looking at the new zoning plan for solar farm, but it's coming to us in January. It will be coming to us that we'll be able to look at the changes that perhaps we might be making for solar farm. But the national action for these two, and from my information that's coming to me, these were put in earlier, but all the information was not given at that time. They were done before we even came up with that we were supposed to stop. But I do believe, I'm just one cause, I do believe that certainly I don't want to stop anybody from doing what you want to do with the land, especially if it's not including on anyone else. But I do believe that we need to look at the stipulation that they're going to have a solar farm and asking you to include them in yours, which will only amount to from suggestion.
Sure.
And I've talked to our planning director, and he's talked to the planning board. And they're talking about more trees, buffer, larger buffer. I would ask you tonight to give us an opportunity to meet with, give me the opportunity, having this county manager, that I would meet with Mr. Flynn, who's in charge of that department, and the planning board, and look at what the recommendations will be, and then I'll see some of these. We'll look at those recommendations, and perhaps if we don't do it in December, we can do it in January when it's going to expire. I'm trying to get for this year. I understand it very well, but you got to understand that once we set that standard, we want to make sure that we conform to it. But what I see is what this board sees, we really see no problem. We was all over that side that they wouldn't just take all that space. I would like for you to give us at least I'll do some meeting.
Yes, sir.
That I can see what those changes that they're planning to recommend. And if we do not adopt those changes in December, we at least can tell you what those changes will be, that you can go on and plan for whatever you want to do. Okay? So it will not be, I hear what you're saying, woman. I really hear what you're saying, but we need to make sure that whatever plan we come up with, we stick with it from now until we make another change. And they are working on it as we speak.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So,
For the record, we're happy to make any accommodations that you all will require. Also, yes, ma'am. Yes, Commissioner Boone.
Will the two ladies or citizens, will they still have the opportunity to take part in this in 2022?
They will, I can ask Kagan, if you don't mind, to come up and talk about what the cost, there may be additional cost review required, or?
No, we'll certainly be committed to continuing the project. Yeah, we're really just trying to maintain overall project cost.
So the delay wouldn't affect them?
It wouldn't.
The process that they're already engaged in?
Yes, that's correct. A delay will not affect them. There may be some cost issues that we have to address because of changes in the tax law for 22. But they're NCEMC and Roanoke are both committed to building these sites with these particular landowners. We've gone through a great deal of development to get to this stage.
And so your ask is really,
we would like to begin construction this year in 21, but understand if we're not able to based on the moratorium.
What we'll do, we'll look at it in December, this will continue to comment, but then in December, we'll probably be talking about schools in the start. But I just conversating here, I'm just thinking that we won't give our planning board an opportunity to do what we asked them to bring that recommendation to. And I'll try to get them to do that, but it's something we need to do.
Thank you.
Then you meet those requirements, passing your mission to our planning, to Mr. Flynn, then we'll be back. I try to move it up to our people.
I think when we access the certain board, I think throughout the course, there's been a couple times when we made decisions that end up planning board will agree with. But these citizens have been given up their, in fact, have been given a month of their time in this effort. And I think out of respect to their work and their research, that we need to adhere to the timeline that we gave them and all other citizens and potential developers that same timeline. I think when we start making exceptions, then another person might say, well, I should have done it too if I would have could have come and asked. think I expect our board and our directors to really put in a lot of work that we owe it to our citizens to allow them to do that in January. When you say come back in December, I just don't think it's a come back in December, because we won't have, the planning board will not have presented that information to us for us to accept it. And then we get in January of 2022. I just don't want to waste her time to come back in December. And I'm a person, but I do think we need to respect our board and ask our citizens to serve us, to at least hear their voice before we enter.
All I would say is, in fact, that we were going to ask them if they had it read, so they would have it read, and then we went to them.
And our moratorium is January of next week. So, Chairman,
Yes.
if they have to read it, you're willing to hear it.
Yes.
And then you're able to read that report, make a decision. Either release it or keep it as the moratorium. Correct.
And that's what I was saying. If they had it read, I'm not sure that I haven't talked with them about having it read. I was saying they got it read, you can bring it here. You don't have to drop it, then you can wait for it. But I just wanted to, if they have it read, I'm not sure. I mean, we're working on it.
Okay.
So could I ask you to just table this until these summer, if these summer we're not really going to do it, but actually do that, I don't know, the planning board might have it ready for this, I'm not sure, and that just that we can have to come January, whatever the date is, that we need to be active. I just didn't know whether we were going to be ready for them to bring it to us in January, and then we enacted in January. For the bring it to us in December, then we be ready to enact it in January. That's what
I make a motion, that we table this until our December will be pending the readiness of the planning. Second.
Thank you. Question. There's most of them made. Table it. I mean, question. Not all of it.
I Butler, item.
Time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Commissioner.
She's got 3 items here.
Good evening. Hope all is well with you all this evening. I am Jamie Mason, Northampton County Tax Administrator. I have 3 items on the agenda this evening. The first item is to obtain the board's approval for 24 appeals in the amount of $2,325.05. There is a listing attached to this request. I'm listing the property owners who have requested that I appeal to the board on their behalf for the refund.
Make a motion that we approve, the request to authorize the grant for refund due to the, 3 reasons of tax code, certain error, and future tax levy for illegal purpose. 24 appeals, totaling $2,325.05.
Those 24 appeals.
And those are, I'm sorry, motor vehicle tax revenue. I didn't say that.
Yes. There is a question and discussion.
Okay. The next, any questions and concerns with that? No? Okay. All right, so the next item is ad valorem for real estate property. I'm before you to obtain the board's approval to release ad valorem taxes in excess of $37,991.93. That's on 17 appeals. There is also a listing for the property owners who have requested that I appeal to the Board of Commissioners on their behalf this evening. And that is for a tax imposed error through clerical error, an illegal tax, and a tax levied for an illegal purpose. That amount probably seems a little high, but there's one release in there that's $29,000 by itself. That's because a property was sold.
Thank you. Okay, board members, with your pleasure.
For the first report, for the research, that the field submitted, and then based on tonight, the amount of $37,991.
That's Mr. Buffalo. Any questions in discussion? All in favor, you don't like to say aye?
All righty. So we move on to the third and last item on the agenda, which is the approval for the tax roll for the year 2021. The fact that the board has the duty to review and approve the tax list for the current year before adjourning. The assessor has prepared the 2021 tax roll and included a summary below. The tax roll shows the total assessed value for 2021 and the amount of $2,077,131,695. The levies, penalties, and fees to be collected for 2021 and charged to the tax collector for collections as follows in the amount of $22,572,673.73. My recommendation that the board approves the 2021 tax roll as presented and adopt the following order and direct the tax collector to collect the taxes.
Board members, you have it sent out. You will all see. If you have any questions about it, you have the record from before. What we plan to correct. Start with questions. I thought most of the questions.
No.
Okay. Could I have a motion? Then we will.
I recommend the approval of the 2021 tax roll as presented by our tax administrator.
Share the rule that we have, is what we shall hear.
Included in that is a summary of the tax roll for you all.
Any questions? All in favor, no matter who say aye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all that time. Okay, new people. All about the county, all about the county person. So about tax part. Now, I want you all, I want this board to, we have not had any complaints, anybody say anything about the tax part. The pleasure and concern to be our tax administration. I just want to say to you, continue to do what you're doing, and we appreciate it. We hear all the things that you go, trying to make your place a nice place to come to pay your tax.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Citizens comment. Yeah, citizens comment. This,
Thank you.
Our board members are as the acting as your county manager. Let me say a little something about that. This is a heck of a job. But I heard one minister say somebody got to do it. And let me tell you what we're running into. There are 5 positions open within an hour and a half drive from us, county managers. One of the larger ones is Greenville, Pitt County. And as I talk to other commissioners, they are really baffled about the fact that we don't have a lot of people who want to be county managers. So I just want you to know that we are still taking applicants. Quickly come to manage our county. And we'll talk more about this in December. Perhaps we need to have a retreat in December. We can talk about our plans for next year, next 3-4 years. But I just want you to know that personnel is hard to find in every respect. It's happening in county government. If you don't believe it, you go right home and look at every county and pull it up, and you'll see all the vacancies they have in every county. And I want to say tonight, I want to commend our interim finance officer for coming and taking over and really just doing a fantastic job. Folks, there's nothing we can do about people leaving. If a person decides they want to go, you can offer monies, you can try to make their working conditions pleasurable, but if a person really want to go, and why do we want to hold on to anybody who really want to go anyway? Okay, because what they're just coming there just to say I've been there. What I really want to see us do in Northampton County is to groom our own. I'm just telling you what I really want us to do. We really need to look in our county and get the very best talents we can find. And at least we have someone who knows our county, who lives in our county, who perhaps stay in our county. And to bring someone in to give them experience, and then in a year, 2 years they go, we're right back to where we started. So I just want to say to you, our commissioners, thank you for all that you do, and I'm doing everything I possibly can do to make sure that Northampton County is operating efficiently and making sure that we bring the best talent we can find to Northampton County. It's like anything else, folks. Y'all know them from the school system. And you know it's like anything else. If you got good people working in your schools, you get good results. You got good people working in your county government, you get good results. So I'm doing the best I can with what we have to work with. And I want to give the accolades to Atia Robinson. I'm telling you, folks, I had no one else in that office to fulfill all the requirements that this attorney places on her and that I put on her. And she has been a fast learner. You all already know that Ms. Williams was in that position and ill, but we're glad that we have Atia Robinson to be in that position. Thank you, Atia. Thank you, Ms. Garland, for all that you do in helping us to continue in Northampton County. At this time, I do want to note that the closing of the loans for refinances has all been taken care of. And I want to thank our attorney. I want to thank Ms. Garner, all who's helped us do that. That just went fine. We also note that tomorrow, federal and state people will be here to work with us on grants again and loans for wastewater. For our western end of the county. They're coming all in tomorrow to talk to us about 3:30. There's about 6 of them coming from the state and from the league. They're coming, USDA. They're all coming tomorrow to talk to us. So we plan to move that forward.
Will you be in this room?
We're going to be in the open.
Over there.
Yes. If you happen to come back, please stop by. Thanks about 3:30 in the evening. Okay, so they're just going to be talking to us about where we go from here. I've just got a call from Raleigh, one of the board members to know that everything, the House has passed this evening. All the money that we talked about, they passed it this evening. I got a call from Mr. Moore, who is now I got a text from him. A call from Michael Ray that everything is set in that budget. They're going to vote again on Thursday, the Senate. Once that is done, the governor has to sign it. If he doesn't sign it, he got 10 days to make up his mind. They can override his veto or whatever, but they have a plan for that. So everything that we have set up for Northampton County is still there, and it's already been voted upon in the House. So that is coming. I also want you to know that we're making plans for the groundbreaking for the courthouse. We will let you know to have sometime in December. We're planning that groundbreaking. Mr. Williams and our chamber, they're planning it for us. And we plan to have it on the grounds, and there will be all our dignitaries there to shovel the dirt or whatever we decide to do. We did not have the hearing tonight on the water increase. It will be in December. We will bring that to you in December for your vote. We've got to change that water. That was a problem that we were having with us with even refinancing, because what we were charging for water was just not adequate. Let me say this because we know that there's some things important that's going to happen in several places in our county, and I need to note that W.S. Creasy, we are planning to let the contractor in there go in and take out all that electric and all the boiler, whatever needs to be done. They've had a meeting down there with the electric company and the contractor who's going to take that out and put in the new electric that we need to place there so we get the electric in the main building. Creasy, we are proud of Rich Square, the town, and the town has said they want to work with us and we with them in helping develop the W.S. Creasy site, because they want to do senior citizens and some other kinds of things out there. So I just want you to know, Commissioner Faulkner in particular, that's your area, that we are working on that. Yeah, y'all. It'll take us a few days to get the equipment that we need, the electrical boxes, because they tell me they got it, but they on a ship somewhere, and they got to wait till we get it. But that's where we are. Okay? And none of those things that we, so far, when we come to equipment, we'll bring it to you. None of those things over the $10,000 threshold that we talk about when we're doing contracts. But when we get that, we will let you know once they tell us what that price will be. And they couldn't quote the price on that because it's on the ship, and they got to get it off the ship, and the prices might go up, might come down. So once they are able to do so, they'll do so. But I want you to know that plans are in order, that we're gonna make W.S. Creason and at Creason School all it needs to be for that community. Okay? Those are the things that I need to tell you. Chief Justice of North Carolina is coming through on Wednesday evening. All of you commissioners that could, please join us. I think it's about 3:30. Am I right out here? 3:30. Chief Justice is coming from the Justice Department of North Carolina. And what I would like to do for all of you to know, we'd like to present him a picture in a frame of the new courthouse. And that's one of the things we want to present to him so that he can see that we're building a new courthouse, and we're going to have a courthouse where you don't have to go in the back door to get the court. Okay, so we want to take a picture and present to him. And if you all can think of anything else that we need to perhaps, I think the clerk of court was talking about getting some peanuts and serving peanuts down there. If y'all can think of something else that we could give him, because this is special for us. He's going to all the counties around, but for us, getting a new courthouse is special. This is the only place I know right now that we're going to get a new courthouse. And he has been real supportive of us getting this courthouse. He wrote letters, his department, the court, wrote letters to the state in order for us to get this courthouse, saying that our courthouse was not up to par. Those are the things that I have, and now in Buffalo, do you have any things that you need to?
I just want to thank all of the citizens and any that participated in the military expo at Halifax Community College. They had the Apache and the Black Hawk helicopters to land on campus, and all of the branches were represented out there. The Center for Energy Education had Secretary Buffalo from the Department of Public Safety as their speaker, and all of the veterans that day. The Northampton Memorial Library hosted a luncheon for the veterans here in the county. On Thursday, we hosted the program at the Northampton County Courthouse. And on Saturday evening, we attended the Veterans Gala at Halifax Community College. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for all of their participation. Thank you.
Thank you. I am appreciative of you for helping us to be represented at the Veterans Affairs. I really enjoyed myself and all of those. And again, thank you for all that you're doing, even for our program, agent program. I need to say Ms. Buffalo has been right here with me through all of this, and I don't know how I would have made it without her. And I'm thankful for her taking time out of her schedule to be with me daily when we need her. So we want to thank you again, Ms. Buffalo. How about it, Ms. Boone?
Not, there ain't about a patience long. I just wanted to say a big thank you to our county staff for all that you do for our county government. And I also wanted to give a shout out to the Northampton County High School GROTC for all of their veteran participation. They worked hard, those leaders, Colonel Ledbetter and Sergeant Tillers, with those young people, and having them in each of those different places throughout the week. It was a task from what I've, heard them share, but yet they were committed to making those programs what they needed to be for Northampton County. That's what they continue to say. They wanted to make sure that they fulfilled their obligation to Northampton County. And so I just wanted to give them a shout out on tonight. Thank you to our JRPC program of Northampton County High School for all that you have done. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Let me say, you said ROTC, yeah, they've done an outstanding job. They've been with us through the veterans programs that we've had, and I mean, they really have done an outstanding job. But I also want to add something else to that. You know, I got to add this. Northampton got a great football team too. And I got to say, that the team is winning. And they're in the playoffs. Yeah. And number 12, I didn't say who's name. Number 12 is playing. I had to say that. I want to say I am so enthused about how the parents and students are all together up there and how they're working and the enthusiasm that's going on at that high school. I'm just glad to be a part of it. Glad my grandson is there. I had to say that part. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'll be very brief. I just thank you all for all the support that you provided throughout the year. We're closing in. It's hard to believe it. It's already mid-November. We have Thanksgiving coming up and family gatherings and family traveling. So we ask you to be mindful on the road, on the highway. If you're traveling by plane, give yourself that ample time so that you don't have to speed. And be safe when you're with your family, especially family that you do not normally live with. After great things, you hate to talk about things with a little damper, but you have to just remind people that with a mask, you can still catch COVID. So practice social distances, wash your hands, make sure that when people are coughing and sneezing, they are doing so appropriately. Teach your children, and on top of COVID, we're heading into flu season. Get your flu shot, do everything that you can to protect yourself. And I just ask that we remember those citizens that we've lost this year. And every time I get that update and that number goes up, I feel the pain because I lost someone last year around this time and in November. So it's still very real to me. Can't watch TV and not come back to you. You can't see a mask and not think about it. So we don't take it lightly. I'm glad that our infection rate has been going down. I'm glad that some people are taking advantage of opportunities to get that booster shot or to vaccinate their children if they so feel that it is appropriate for their children's health to do so. But I just want to remind everyone to stay safe. There are some few sales going on. It might not be people talk about Black Friday for presents, but they want something for their food too, because the cost of food has gone up. Don't wait to the last minute. If you're strapped for cash, make sure that you don't wait to the last minute to get those things because they might not be there. Supply not just for items like the boiler room supplies, but for food as well. Anything that's transported by truck, and if you know a truck driver, thank a truck driver. If you know a young man or young lady that's interested in going into trucking, don't discourage them. It's a very lucrative field right now. And the more truck drivers we have to get those things out of the port, the faster they can get to us. I met a young lady, she has an 18-year-old son. He bought his own truck. His parents had saved money for him to go to college, and he decided he wanted to be a truck driver. So he bought his own truck, and he's driving his own truck. And now the state, I believe they were trying to get it to where 18-year-olds could go across state lines. It's 21, and so that he can go into that port and pull those things out. It's while his fellow high school graduates are going to parties, he said he's making that money. So that's a good thing to hear, a very energized young person. Halifax Community College strategic plan citizens, please give them your voice. When our county does the same, please share your thoughts. We need to hear from you just as they need to hear from you in order to make their site and our county a better place. Thank you all for hanging with us throughout our technical difficulties. But when we put our heads together, we can solve any problem we have.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all that you do, Vice Chairman. We are really appreciative. Northampton County, we are blessed to have the commissioners that we have the heart of this county. They really care about Northampton County. Their heart is in this business. I want to thank you, commissioners, for all the support. We wouldn't have made it through this if we were not together, without having a county manager, without having other personnel that we needed. We would not have made it through without support that I received from all of you. I personally want to say thank you. You'll see the games that we're going to have in a few days, and you're going to see the kinds of things that we'll be doing. It would not be possible without your help.
Chairman Turner,
yes.
You always give all of us praise for what we do. And I know some people don't understand how you can do both roles and not accept an extra dime to do that role. That's a full-time person's job. And our county is moving forward. We haven't taken a step back. And I just want to thank you for your dedication for this county that you always say, I love Northampton County. A lot of people say they love you, but if they got to show you, he didn't sit back and say, well, we don't have anybody, what we going to do? He stepped up to the plate and said, I'm going to help Northampton County until we can find, as a board of commissioners, the right person. Mr. Tyler doesn't make that decision. It's a board of commissioners decision. So until there's a board, we find the right person that won't stop our momentum. We can't take a step back. Not one step back. Not one step back. So I want the citizens to understand it's not that we don't want a county manager. We have a county manager. We have a county manager. He's interim, I understand, but he's doing the work of a full-time person because of his love of this county. I just want to say that.
Thank you. Thank you. I know you. That meant the world to me, because when you're doing the best you can and in a new position, and people can give you accolades, it does make you feel good. All of us are human, and it certainly makes me feel good when I know that you all understand what we're doing and how we're doing it, and you are in support. This would never be done. We just got some good people working in Northampton County. I just want you to know that the department heads are just excellent. And the Lord has just sent us some new ones, and the new ones have come on, grasped it. And you all know I believe in education, and all of them, I've asked them to go to NC, to our college up there, to UNC, government, that take classes, and they all are willing to do so, and they're willing to learn this county government. We all learning together, but I just cannot say enough about the people who work in Northampton County. And to all of you who work in Northampton County, remember, we're looking at our pay scale. We're looking at our pay scale. We're looking at how we can do what we can do to pay you more for the services you provide for the county. When we do good, we ought to let our people who work with us do good. And when we do good and the workers do good, then we ought to do good to all of our citizens by reducing taxes. And that's at the end of the day. At the end of the day, when we reduce taxes, that's affected everybody. So we can't promise you what they'll be reduced, but I promise you one thing, they will be reduced. And they'll be reduced because we won't have a $14 million courthouse that we got to build. and bill it out of taxpayers' money, North Carolina County taxpayers' money. Let me say to you also, and I'll end, accountability is here. We work hard, we do all we do, and we're not wasteful. I want to thank you. That's the reason why I'm going to bat with the county commissioners and saying, let's give the people who work with us an increase, because they are the ones who are saving us money. And I want to thank you all for the monies that you're helping us to save. And what you're doing is really helping the county to help you. So let me say again, thank you for all the help that you give, all that you support me with. I just cannot say enough about where we are. And let me tell you, folks, the best is yet to come. Oh, my God. The best, Vice Chairman, the best is yet to come. Let us stay together. Let us work together. And I declare unto you, there's some better things coming for North Carolina County. Yes, those are my remarks. I only have one item for closed session, so I really need to have that item discussed in closed session. There are no other remarks. Thank you again, co-worker. Thank you so much. Thank you. There's no other. Could I have at this time, have a motion that we go into closed session?
Yes.
Ms. Boone.
Chairman Thomas, motion that we enter into closed session regarding GS 143-31811, A6 personnel, A3 attorney-client privilege, and A4 EDC report.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
Moving proper second, that we would go into closed session. Are there any questions or discussion? All in favor, get on by you, sound aye.
I Faulkner.
Aye, Boone.
Aye, Tanner. I think the motion is carried. Thank you so much. Okay, at this time, we're going into closed session.